Hello lovelies, I'm Black Veil. Thanks for clicking on this video. I cover mysterious, spooky, and true stories, so if those things interest you, please consider subscribing. I'm feeling sentimental today, so I wanted to look back at my favorite 90s heartthrobs and find out where they are now. So my first celebrity crush, Jonathan Brandis. The name may not ring a bell for you, but if you grew up in the 90s, chances are you know who he is. Movies like The Never-Ending Story 2, Ladybugs, as well as the TV movie It, in which he played young Bill, and many others. He was also in many television shows, including a starring role in Steven Spielberg's futuristic sci-fi show, Sequest DSV. He was also in episodes of Full House, Blossom, Who's the Boss, Murder, She Wrote, and even voice work for things like Oliver and Company and Pet Sematary. Unfortunately, the last thing he was to star in was 111 Gramercy Park, which ended up being an unsold pilot for a TV show in 2003. As for where he is now, sadly, on November 11th, 2003, at just 27 years old, Brandis was found hanged in the hallway of his LA apartment. He was transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center and died the following day of injuries sustained from the hanging. Jonathan did not leave a suicide note, and after his death, his friends reported that he had been depressed about his waning career and was reportedly disappointed when his appearance in the 2002 war drama Heart's War, a role he hoped would revive his career, was significantly reduced in the film's final cut. Brandis began drinking heavily and said that he intended to unalive himself. Which really makes me sad. His friends are admitting to knowing he was not only drinking heavily, but also knew how depressed he was, and that he had even stated he intended to unalive himself. So why didn't someone get him help? I don't know. He would be 46 years old today if he was still with us. Rest in peace, Jonathan. Our next heartthrob, JTT, or Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Best known for voicing young Simba in the Lion King movie and Kingdom Hearts 2 video game, and so many amazing 90s movies, including Tom and Huck and Wild America, two of my personal favorites. Probably he's most well known for the many years he starred in Home Improvement with Tim Allen. Jonathan took a break from acting to lead a semi-normal life. He went to Harvard, Columbia, and then St. Andrews University in Scotland. He said, quote, "To sit in a big library amongst books and students, that was pretty cool." He followed that up with, "It was a novel experience for me." His last television role was in Last Man Standing from 2013 to 2015, which also starred Tim Allen, and Jonathan even directed a few episodes of the show. Since his appearance on Last Man Standing, Jonathan has largely stayed out of the spotlight. We aren't even sure if he has any kids or even a wife or girlfriend. He was spotted out for the first time in 8 years in June of 2021. He was walking his dogs around Los Angeles during the rare public appearance. Believe it or not, he's 41 years old now and continues to live his life out of the spotlight and does not regret that choice at all. Devon Sawa is our next heartthrob. Best known for movies like Casper, Little Giants, Now and Then, Wild America, which JTT was also in, Idle Hands, Final Destination, and probably less known for his television work in things like MacGyver and Magnum P.I., the remakes of both. He was also the title character for the music video of Stand by Eminem. He's now 42 years old and married to Canadian producer Dewani Sahanovic. Sorry about the pronunciation. They got married in 2013 and have 2 children together, a son born in 2014 and a daughter born in 2016. Devon has described himself as being irreligious and an atheist, but supportive of religious freedoms. As for where he is now, in June of 2022, Devon gave a lengthy interview to The Independent where he said that he sought out roles in which the character smoked marijuana to help get away from his teen heartthrob status, which began with Casper. Sawa also said that between 2004 and 2009, he drank a lot until going sober after meeting his wife in Vancouver. Now he likes to take care of his family and live a semi-normal life while also still acting once in a while. The television show Chucky, He has had a reoccurring role in both of the first two seasons, the latter just being released in 2022. He's also done quite a few supporting roles in much lesser-known movies, releasing at least 2 every year since 2019, with the newest being Gasoline Alley, in which he plays Jimmy Jane, alongside Bruce Willis and Owen Wilson, where he is an ex-con tattoo artist being investigated by cops, played by Willis and Wilson, as he was the last one to see a victim alive before she was taken out by a serial killer targeting prostitutes. I won't spoil the ending in case you want to watch it, but I will tell you, he does look quite a bit different now. Still handsome, and the nostalgia is still there when I see him, but let's move on. I had to include Hanson on this list. Hands down, one of the best songs of the 90s, at least for preteens like myself, Bop. Still not even quite sure what all the lyrics mean. I remember hearing when I was a kid in an interview with the brothers that an bop was a very minuscule, tiny amount of time, like a fraction of a second. Still a bop to this day, if you ask me. Hanson consists of 3 brothers with the last name Hanson: Zach the drummer, Taylor the keyboard player and lead vocalist, and Isaac the guitarist. Their first and only album I really knew, but I did know and love every single song on that CD, was called Middle of Nowhere and was released in 1997. It sold 10 million copies worldwide and was nominated for 3 Grammys. The boys are from Tulsa, and May 6th was declared Hanson Day in Tulsa by Oklahoma's then governor, Frank Keating. So what went wrong after that? Why did they disappear? At least it felt like that to a then 11-year-old me. They ended up leaving their record company, Island Def Jam Records, and recording for their own independent label called 3CG Records. They released their next album on April 20th, 2004, called Underneath, and it sold 37,500 copies in the first week of release in the U.S. alone. After that, from 2005 until 2013, Hanson released 4 more albums and EPs that never really did a whole lot, and they also went on tour a few times and even did a documentary-style podcast, but it wasn't until their 6th album on their independent label they found pretty big success again. It was called Anthem and was released on June 18th, 2013. It charted at number 22 on the U.S. Billboard 200. As for where they are now, they're still making music together and separately. They dropped an album in both 2021 and 2022, the newest album being Red, Green, Blue. And it's a blend of a 5-song mini-album crafted by each individual brother. Red for Taylor, Green for Isaac, and Blue for Zach. Each brother wrote and produced their third of the album individually with the help of award-winning producers Jim Scott and David Garza. Each portion is unique to the individual brother but doesn't stick to one genre. Taylor's Red portion tends to lead more towards a rootsy Americana sound. Isaac's Green portion is more of an intimate and vintage sound, and Zach's Blue portion has a more contemporary sound, mixing in pop, rock, and alt country. The 3 brothers released singles from the album. Taylor's Child at Heart, which depicts a series of inflicted wounds and tragedies as a metaphor for the pain of life and love. It sees Taylor getting punched and a glass of water thrown on him in the video clip. Isaac's Write You a Song was written for his daughter, Odette, who requested he write a song for her. She features in the clip that premiered on CMT. Zach's song, Don't Let Me Down, features Frankie Muniz and a cast of others in the Beefcake Fun video. They were also on a world tour from June to November of this year, 2022. In 2021, Hanson competed in Season 5 of The Masked Singer as the Russian Dolls, being the first band to compete on the series. As for their personal lives, Isaac met his wife, Dufresne, after spotting her in the 5th row of a crowd at their 2003 New Orleans concert. Isn't that every girl's dream that loved boy bands? Anyway, they have 3 children together. On June 8th of 2002, Taylor married Natalie Ann Bryant, whom he first met in 2000. They have 7 children together. And Zach still holds the title of the youngest songwriter nominated for a Grammy Award. It happened in 1997 when he was just 12 years and 126 days old. Zach is married to Kate Tucker. They married June 3rd, 2006, and they have 5 children together. On October 2nd, 2019, Zach was involved in a serious motorcycle accident in Tulsa, which resulted in 5 broken bones, 3 broken ribs, a broken clavicle, and a cracked scapula. Zach and his family are also gamers, and they currently run a gaming channel on YouTube named Zaccidental Gamer, where they play games such as Minecraft Dungeons, Halo Infinite, and many more. I was hesitant to put the next person on this list only because he was not my personal favorite. He was, or at least felt, too old for me, on top of the fact I just wasn't that attracted to him personally. However, he was on the cover of Tiger Beat and all those magazines I adored growing up. So, Andrew Keegan. Most well known for me because of the show Seventh Heaven and the movie 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, but other movies he was in include Independence Day and O. And he was also in a few episodes of shows like Baywatch, Full House, Step by Step, Moesha, Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Party of Five, and House. In 2014, Keegan founded Full Circle, a community spiritual center based in Venice, Los Angeles. Vice characterized the organization as a new religion, while other outlets called it a cult. In an interview, Keegan described the group as a non-denominational, spiritual community center where people of all beliefs and backgrounds come together to meditate, practice yoga, and engage artistically. New York Magazine reported in March 2015 that the actual theology of the group is tough to pin down, but it seems to loosely follow Hinduism, or at least Russell Brand's Sanskrit tattoo version of it. In May 2015, the Full Circle Temple was raided by California Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control officers. The raid was apparently related to Full Circle's distribution of kombucha, a fermented beverage made from sweet black tea. A spokesperson for the temple stated they were unaware they needed a license to distribute kombucha. Andrew is now 43 years old with a beautiful wife named Arista Iona, whom he married in November of 2015 after dating since 2013. Arista gave birth to their daughter, Aya Rose, in March of 2016 after a 77-hour labor with the baby. Good Lord, I cannot even imagine. As for where he is now, he actually also still acts in some lesser-known movies and television shows. He's released 1 movie in the last 2 years and filming one right now called High Tideum, in which he plays a detective. Andrew was also in a show called Trinkets in 2020, which is an American teen drama on Netflix. And last, but certainly not least, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I would probably say he's most well known for his newer stuff, but he will always hold my heart as the adorable, more dorky characters he played in the late 90s, early 2000s. 10 Things I Hate About You, Halloween H2O, the voice of Jim Hawkins in Treasure Planet, and the movie Brick. He also did quite a few different television shows, starting all the way back in the late 80s. Too early for me to have watched, but Family Ties with Michael J. Fox, Murder, She Wrote, Quantum Leap, the original, Roseanne, Numbers, and, probably most importantly, Third Rock from the Sun. He played Tommy Solomon for the entire series run, one of the main characters of the show about aliens that have to pretend to be a normal family here on Earth. Very funny, cute, and the fact that he was technically supposed to be the oldest of the aliens, but stuck in the young preteen boy body, made his character even more comical and fun. After his role in Treasure Planet in 2002, Joseph took a break from acting to study at Columbia University, but dropped out in 2004 to resume his acting career. And I have to say, we all know that was a pretty good decision. As for where he is now, well, he never really left since he came back in 2004. He's been in everything from 500 Days of Summer, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Looper, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Knives Out, and is set to star in the new Beverly Hills Cop, which is now in post-production. Joseph has even been doing a lot more directing and producing. In 2013, Gordon-Levitt wrote, directed, and starred in his screenwriting and directorial debut, Don John. The film also stars Scarlett Johansson, Julianne Moore, and Tony Danza, and it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2013. Following the premiere, the film was acquired by Relativity Media, and Joseph stated, "I always intended this to be a movie for a mass popular audience. Everybody told me it was a long shot. I couldn't possibly be more grateful." In September of 2019, it was announced Gordon-Levitt would write, direct, star, and executive produce Mr. Corman, a comedy drama series produced by A24 for Apple TV. On October 4th, 2010, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's older brother, Daniel Gordon-Levitt, was found dead in Hollywood, California at the age of 36. According to the Los Angeles County's coroner's office, Daniel's cause of death was ketamine intoxication, with the injury occurring by intake of overdose. Joseph has publicly disputed the claim that his brother's death was caused by a drug overdose, but I can't really figure out what his reasonings are. Anyway, he is now 41 years old, and in more happy news, in December 2014, he married Tasha McCauley, the founder and CEO of technology company Fellow Robots. Their first child, a son, was born in August 2015. Their second son was born in June of 2017. He and McCauley do not want to reveal any details of their children to the media, including their first names. He has been living with his family happily in Wellington since October 2020 after moving his new TV production to New Zealand in response to Rona. So I'm curious, who were your favorite 90s or 2000s heartthrobs that you might like me to cover in the future? I might also do one on females if you have any ideas for them. Sound off in the comments below. I'm Black Veil. Please like and subscribe if you liked and want to subscribe. Hopefully catch you in the next one.